Now, a class action lawsuit has been filed against Tiger Brands. That's over the death of at least 183 people from Listeria. Earlier this month, Enterprise was forced to recall a range of cold meat products after Listeria was found at its factory. Almost 70 people are represented in the lawsuit. eNCA's Erin Bates is following that story for us. Good evening, Erin.
Evening.
Thanks very much for coming through.
My pleasure.
Now, do we know who briefed the lawyers and who exactly they are going to represent?
Yes, so there are 10 people here who represent that broader group of 70, and they expect that there may be up to 1,000 people relevant to this application. Those 10 people have filed affidavits which are included in the papers that were sent to the South Gauteng High Court today, and they're either people who themselves have contracted listeriosis or have been affected by a family member contracting listeriosis, and that includes women who were pregnant at the time that they ate these contaminated products. And pregnant women are particularly vulnerable to passing that listeriosis onto their unborn children during birth and in utero. And in many cases, according to the latest data from the NICD, children under 28 days have died or contracted the virus. So the majority of people in their latest figures are under 28 days old.
Now, what sort of relief will they be seeking?
Well, the first thing they need to do is to get permission from the court to bring forward this application, and Enterprise Foods and their owner, Tiger Brands, can oppose this. We have asked them for comment, and the spokesperson for Tiger Brands says they will review the papers, they have received them, and if they get that permission, these 10 applicants, to go to court, they will then first ask for a declaratory order saying this Polokwane plant is the source of the outbreak of a certain stream or strand of listeriosis, and then they will seek damages for specific cases from Tiger Brands and Enterprise Foods.
Is that all? I mean, Tiger Brands and Enterprise were prepared to say that we're looking into this because, I mean, the lawsuit has a potential to literally bring them, take them down, bring them down to their knees.
Yes, so at this point they've said as sort of responsible corporate citizens they will look at any valid claims in due course, but more than that they haven't really said, except for the fact that they have received these papers. But you're quite right, the implications here financially and also in terms of reputational damage beyond what we've already seen are quite serious. And the latest data, this report that we've received from the NICD, indicates that that Polokwane plant is the source of a certain strand of the listeriosis virus. So that really does point the finger at Enterprise Foods and at Tiger Brands over this outbreak. And now on the latest figures, we also know that 189 people have died. The data also includes information that most of the cases are in Gauteng, followed by the Western Cape and then KwaZulu-Natal. They've warned people that it's not over yet. We're not out of the proverbial woodwork here because the virus has a 70-day sort of lifespan. Some of the goods here are still on the shelves, even though they have done the recall, and that there may be cross-contamination with other foodstuffs that are exposed to the polony and the other cold meats.
Now, apparently, Richard Spoor, the human rights advocate who masterminded the successful silicosis case on behalf of gold miners, are the lawyers who are going to represent these people.
Yes, so I spoke to Richard Spoor earlier today about the case and him just talking us through the various sort of legal loops they need to go through in order to get this matter before the court. We also heard from Tami Malusi, who is the lead attorney in this matter, and this is in fact what he had to say about the application they've put to the South Gauteng High Court.
Okay, there seems to be a problem with that part. In terms of timelines, Erin?
So now we need to wait for what the South Gauteng High Court has to say. We again don't know whether Tiger Brands and Enterprise Foods are going to oppose this application for this class action suit. So depending on what their decision is, we'll hear from them. But importantly, just going through those papers, Vuyo, looking at what the group of 10 applicants want here is if they do get permission to bring forth this class action suit, they want public announcements which will be led on radio, through the newspapers and through other other media to announce to people that they can come forward with their claims around the case. Among those 10 applicants is a couple from KwaZulu-Natal. The woman was pregnant at the time she ate the contaminated foods, and she was due to give birth to twins. She gave birth prematurely. One of the twins died, and the other one has suffered severe complications medically following the mother contracting listeriosis. So it's just one example. Another case involves a very much older woman, a senior citizen, who ate polony. They found it in her fridge and tested it, and she's had very serious health problems since eating that product. So these are just 10 people who the attorneys believe are a good indication of the broader group of almost 1,000 people now on the NICD's numbers who have been affected by listeriosis.
Okay. Erin Bates, that's where we are going to leave it for now. Thanks very much for coming through.